Welcome, everyone, to yet another podcast episode of A Lovely Observation of Life, where we are observing different layers of awakening. What is it to be awake? What is consciousness? What is awareness? Does everyone's awakening happen or will happen in this lifetime? Well, all of this we are unpacking, and we are going to have different themes throughout this lovely observation of life. So make sure to yeah, that was good. Like, share, and subscribe. But I said love, so love, share, and subscribe. Yeah, this video so it can reach more people. And if you enjoy it and you are returning, thank you for being here. And put in the comments if there are any topics that you are more interested of. But I'm usually going and picking these topics based on what is coming through my channelings of what is needed and bringing into the world, and also through my channel. So everything is interconnected, and I'm connecting to the Most High and to love. So that is the way that I'm bringing these messages. And thank you for being here, for sharing your valuable time to something that is hopefully going to be beneficial for everyone, for you and everyone that knows you. So today's topic is past lives. This topic is very big and interesting. So let's dive into this topic directly. So the basic principle of past life is most closely associated with reincarnation. So where the soul or consciousness survives physical deaths and is reborn into a new body. Potentially, it is in a different form. So it can be both a human form, but it can also be an animal form. And so it depends on the lesson that is needed to integrate so that the soul can further evolve in its journey. And sometimes even the karma that needs to be clear. So if we are already in too deep, then I want you to be like the broad sky and just be open to perspective and understanding that even if we can just see it from the perspective that one atom that is here today has been here billions of years ago. So it's still here. It never left. That in itself can open a perspective to say, well, then past lives is not so far ahead or just too woo and out there. It is quite close if we can just see it from those perspectives that allows us to be open to understand what past life and reincarnation is. So what is reincarnation? So reincarnation is the eternal journey of the soul, where the consciousness survives physical deaths, of course, where the immortal essence gets reborn into a new body, potentially in a different form. So with reincarnation, the soul is constantly evolving, and usually, as in my researches, is that we tend to forget. This is what the planet Earth, we're here to forget, because we can't learn lessons if we keep remembering everything. Sometimes we have to start over here by not remembering, and most of the times we continue to do the same thing, even though that we don't remember. So, and that's the same way, even if we will just take it simple as someone that is suffers from bad memory, they still do their functions that they did when they had the memory. If you would ask someone that knows their relatives that has gone older and lost a lot of their memories, and maybe suffering from different memory dysfunctions, then we can see easily that they're still doing things that they did when they had the memory. Like they drink their coffee in a certain way and they take their walk in this time of the day, even though that they don't have a memory of it. So that means that habits form also memories. Just to bring some more perspectives here. So the Wheel of Samsara, that's what they call it. It comes from India, this reincarnation, and it's often visualized as a cycle of birth, death, and rebirth as samsaras. So this cycle is driven by karma. So it keeps spinning around, and it goes like that constantly, karma. So then we go through the next step, which is, what is then karma? What is this karma that is holding this samsara? So karma is a law of cause and effect, okay? Where actions and intention is one life influence further experience and reincarnations. So good deeds may lead to better future lives, while negative actions may cause you to suffer. So the ultimate goal for spiritual seekers is to break free from the cycles of samsara and achieve a liberation, which is called moksha. And moksha, nirvana, as they would say also, it is, we can accomplish this through spiritual practices like meditation, yoga, self-service, selfless service, which is purifying the soul and dissolves the karmic imprint that is binds to these cycles of rebirth, basically. So if we see karma as something that we can actually change, it's very positive. So if we keep having these patterns and these lives, and we keep accumulating these karmic debts that we really don't want to have, because we want to be liberated, we want to feel the moksha, and so we can do that with meditation, because as I've found in my own experiences, the easiest and the fastest way to do it is to meditate, because meditation is basically like a reboot of the mind. It's an inner engineering. You are transforming yourself, and you're changing something that has always been. It's just the patterns keeps going the same, and all of a sudden you're stopping it. Just like when you're cleaning your computer, you're turning it off, you're going behind the screen, and you are cleaning it before even starting it. So it's like a reboot. That's what meditation brings, which is very wonderful. This gives us this positive boost that we need in this understanding of what is past lives. So what I find in my understanding of all of this is that it comes back to the mind, which is the ego, which is a part of thought patterns. So the ego wants to repeat cycles. The ego loves cycles, okay? So it thrives on it. So it wants to repeat the cycle so it can keep the illusion of the existence by reinstalling and reinforcing the story. It's like if you tell someone too many times, like, that color is blue, that color is blue, and even if that color isn't really blue, it's like more purple, if you hear it too many times, at the end, you will start to think that it's blue. Like, that is how the mind can manipulate and shift and change to its own benefit. And so there is one author called Dolores Cannon, and Spirit, as always, everything that I show, and now I am in the podcast with this, but I'm also having a video, and you can see that on YouTube. But I'm going to show you this book called Legacies from the Stars, and it is stories that Dolores, this beautiful woman, Dolores Cannon, has captured of different people that she's been guided to, just the same way as I've been guided to read this particular book. And so you too, you've been guided in this video or in this podcast to listen to this. Everything is interconnected. We're supposed to understand different parts so that we can evolve in different ways. So this beautiful book, Legacies from the Star, she's a pioneer in past life regression. Basically, she has many recordings of these people that these people, they remember their past lives, okay? And many people that she had put under hypnosis has reported having vivid memories of past life, and often triggered by she's very good at her hypnosis because she's been guided also to seek out particular people that know and remember their past life, and that will remember them subconsciously. So not every one of us will remember basically our past lives. What I love about this book is that it is so many different stories, it is so many different lives, and it brings so many different perspectives. So I recommend you to, if you're interested, to read this book, Legacy from the Start, because it's very, very amazing. And she has so many other books that are interesting. If you are interested in picking that up, please do so. I'm never promoting anyone, but if I will find something that's amazing, I will share it for sure. And so if we go back to Dolores, and what she has brought to all of our attention is that people have, so she's gone so far to even have people remember that they were aliens in some of their lives. So sometimes once she mentioned something that really got me amazed, and we got the same downloads, and they were, and by they, when I speak of they, I speak of the interdimensional beings, so angels, if you may. And if we simplify it, it's elevated beings. That's how I speak of it. And she also speaks of they. And what they told her was that, and I got the same message, right? That sometimes it's better not to remember. And here I want to point in something from my perspective is that it is exactly true. And what they gave me, it was because of the ego that keeps itself strong in this way, okay? Because according to my information that I have gathered and my first-hand experience is that the ego gets stronger when we say, let's be together next lifetime. We automatically just put spells in that. Oh, we will always see each other. We will always connect. When we say things and when we say them out loud, we are actualizing them. So we have to be very careful there, because the best way to dissolve the ego is to let go of the attachments and consciously affirm, I don't want to have this future contract with the souls that are currently involved in my surrounding and in my life. So we don't want to have them, because you don't know what these people, it can be family members that you've been with, but in the past you were something else, and you're coming in and you're like, okay, let's try a different approach. Let me be the father this time and you can be the sister. And all of this is something that we decide, but then we forget before we enter. But it is something that's already pre-decided, that we already know. And so people that you're surrounding yourself with, it's not a coincidence. We are all connected. We're all connected in this way. that's what makes it so amazing. And I want to share a few stories of my own experience of my past life, when I've gone through these steps of awakening, and when I've started to clear out my past lives. And this is nothing that I'm deciding to do this. This just happened naturally. It unfolded the way that it wanted to. And what I knew going into this was, whatever it is that you're going to remember now, don't let the mind, which is the ego, which is the part that will continue to speak and put more stories of what you're saying. I was just decoding the emotion and just channeling whatever wanted to come through so that it can be clear. That was my intention. I wanted to clear it. I didn't want to stick to it, hold on to it, even if it was good or bad. So I'm going to share a few examples of my past life that I remember. And I want to share the first one by being a whale. It's very strange, but in this book, there is actually one woman that she remembers that she was a worm and she fell from a tree, and she remembers the feeling of falling from the tree on a leaf that was going on that was in the water. So it was flowing in a water flow, right? So she was speaking about that and her experience of it. And when I was reading that, I was like, what? This is so strange, until it actually happened to me. And that was when I was channeling and I was in the deep meditation, and I've been fasting, and then I was going through very emotional, and I sounded like a whale. It was very strange. When I was crying, I had the sound of a whale. It was very bizarre. I've never cried in I've never heard that sound even come out of me like that. So, and I just see this image of, and I have no reference, or I'm not seeing whales, thinking about whale. It's not relevant at all. It just happens just like this. Is I'm getting this visual that I'm away somewhere. I'm just whale. I don't know what whales do, but I am somewhere. And all of a sudden I come back to this community, to this place that all of those whales and my children too are together there. But when I'm coming back, none of them are there. It's like something, it's completely destroyed. It's like other creatures. I don't know what time this is in the ocean, but like it looks like everyone just died. And as a whale, I'm standing there looking at this emptiness, and I'm just crying in the water. And I can feel that whale's sincere cry, and I can feel my own cry. It's like it's me, but it's not me, and it's so strange. But I just let it flow so I could let it go, whatever needed to happen. And as I was feeling that, why would it happen in that way? Because the whale was not conscious in the same way as having a consciousness and being in a human body. So the whale was just sad and doing it. But because it was such an impact, it left such an energy that when my soul was elevating and now had a body to process it, it actually could make the sound. It could actually feel what was happening in that moment, if that makes sense. And again, if this is like completely new to you and you're hearing it, and just, for me, it was fully real. It just happened. And you can feel or think however you want. I'm not putting anything, because I even judge my own self. I even judged when I was reading this book, and it was not really me judging the legacies from the start. It was just, that's what the mind does. The mind just keeps dissecting and wants to have a reason and needs to find something to hold on to. And in these situations, you can't hold on to this. You can't say that past lives, that you can somehow have a recording of that is scientific. You can't measure that scientifically. Not what we have today available to us to do so, at least. So it's very hard to even describe it. So I'm going to continue with another shifting of strange past life and I'm picking out. I'm taking away a few, but I want to emphasize some of them that left a different flavor to them. And so in this lifetime, I am an alien in another galaxy. I live in another galaxy, and I have this wonderful family. All of them are supporting me. All of them are so loving and so wonderful. And we're learning so many things. It's just like the theme is constantly learning and evolving, and we're looking into different galaxies. And I love this family. It is so wonderful. It is so loving. It is so nourishing to be there. And I can feel that feeling. And what was strange with this alien life is that I was sad in my body as I was sitting and going through this. And I felt sad because I didn't have that with my physical family now. I always wanted that. So I asked the higher dimensional beings, like, is this because I want it? Because I'm also very, very logical and very thinking in psychology, because I've read a lot of psychologies and I studied. So I was going into this thinking, okay, but maybe this is what I wanted. Is that why I'm manufacturing this in some way? And they just came clearly through. And it was this family, it was this alien family that came through and said that we are still existing. And I was like, what? Like, they're in a different dimension. They're in a different galaxy and they're still alive. So I don't know if it has to do with time, because I've reincarnated and they still love me. So they wanted to follow me, what I was doing here. And I thought that was the most strangest thing, because I had left them and I didn't get an answer of why I had left them, but they promised that they was going to take care of me and look after me when I was here. And I felt like it was so beautiful. I wanted to attach to them, but they detached immediately after giving me that message. And it was so strange. It was like having the family, losing the family, knowing the family is there, but you have to let it all go. So it was so strange. It was like a roller coaster of emotion, just swerving all over the place inside of me. I can't even describe it, but that was why it left an imprint, and I want to share this. And then I want to share 2 past lives that are with masculine energy, so male. Most of my past lives that I remember, I had more essence of a female, but these that I'm going to share now, 2 past lives, is they're very masculine. They're not so nice, to be honest. I wasn't a nice man in that sense. I was very ruling. So the first past life is a higher position government, and I'm ruling a population, and I'm being very, very cold as I'm ruling them. Like, and they don't know so much. And I'm like, if they don't know, just skip them or whatever. And the strange thing is with past life, when I was going through this, you're transmuting this in this lifetime. So you can bring things, and this is why I want to bring it back to the Akashic records, is that you can bring things from your past lives and bring that in, because it's connecting to the Akashic records, and you can hold that energy to continue. And the ego will love this. If you have a super ego, this is where you bring in all of your past lives that are powerful, and you use them to your advantage in this life. And for me, the message of love has constantly reminded me, don't get stuck in that. Yes, you might have power in one lifetime, but what is that? It's not even worth it. It's the love and the journey. You don't have to say that you're powerful. You should know inside of you that you're powerful. You don't have to share it. You don't have to display it. People don't have to see it in that way. So I was very careful with that, of holding it to be very humble in this world and learn my lessons, because my journey is through this awakening is that I want to be with the most high love, with the beloved, to understand, to evolve. That is, I don't want to get stuck in anything. So I'm very... in all my meditations, I really sit with myself to ask, what is the highest, greatest good for me, but also for everyone involved, always. So the other past life is an emperor in Asia, and this is very strange. When I was young, I didn't know this because I was unconscious. I was so interested in Asia, everything. And when I got a little bit older, I thought, okay, but everyone loves karate, and it's maybe common. It's nothing's changed. But I had this connection, like I was an Asian. I am Asian. Like, and it was not a wanting that I wanted to be that. It was just I felt I was that. And I could never connect those two until I was going through and clearing out this past life of being an emperor. And the strangest thing with this past life is that going through my awakening, I had different beings in the night look at me. And I never find that to be creepy in any way, that they're looking at me as I'm sleeping. I'm like, okay, so they're looking at me, it's fine. And I thought that was strange. Why would I think it's fine that someone is looking at me and I don't feel like it's creepy or anything? And I keep having that energy that even other beings and other people, and even in real life, the first time I visited Bosnia and I was sleeping in one of the room and I haven't seen these relatives or nothing. And as I was sleeping in this room in the morning, I woke up to everyone sneaking and opening the door and looking at me and going like, look how sweet she's sleeping. Like they were admiring me when I was sleeping, and I didn't find it creepy or felt uncomfortable of them looking at me. It was just something inside of me was like, oh yeah, this is what they always do. And it was so strange. I was like, where does this feeling come from of this? Why does this feel like this is so normal? And it was connected to this emperor past life where they were looking at me. They were protecting me by there were always someone awake in the room with me. So I was used to that. That's nice. I like that. It made me have this comfy feeling. And again, this followed through in these lives. In one particular life where I'm a witch, I'm not really a witch. It is a life of me just loving herbs and taking care of nature and being one with nature and taking care of everything, having different animals. And I love this life because I could see myself when I saw this life that I was taking care of many children that was thrown out of their house. I was taking care of it. It was like an orphanage. I took care of every child that I found along the way, and I fed them and I took care of them as my own. And when these government people, it was very traumatizing this because they stormed in and I've made a wall. I remember how the house looks and everything. If I saw that house and today in this physical body, I would recognize it. So into the house, down in like more of the basement part, I'd made an extra wall and I've carved out an extra way so we could escape a little tunnel away from there. And so that I could hide all of those children when they were coming to like look in the house or trying to like harm my kids. So I was hiding them all there and acted like I was there alone to protect them. And I taught them how to escape. And that struck very strong, like chord in me, because I'm a very loving today in my physical body. I'm a very loving mother and I like to take care of my kids. And I don't want to go deep into this, but that life was very significant. I was a very strong woman, but I was independent and I was taking care of others. And so in another lifetime, I'm more in America, in a Western like civilization, like I feel like it's the time where Indians are there. And I have this little house by myself that I'm living in, and I love being by myself. I just remember this feeling of, oh, it's so nice to be alone here, and it's so peaceful. And then there is this disabled boy that comes running just one day, and he's very lost. And I feel so sad for him. So I take him in and I start teaching him, and he started to become this intelligent. Even though that he was disabled, I learned so much from him. And I could see this lifetime, and it was so emotional to me. I couldn't even explain it, but it was so emotional to me that why connection of when I saw disabled people that I didn't feel like I didn't get scared of them or creeped out. I saw them and I was like, wow, it's intelligent in a different form. I got so curious and I didn't understand that either. Why in this lifetime I would be like that to disabled people. And then in this past life, it just came through. Why? It was because of this boy. And I took care of this boy. And there were some bandits that also came there and they just wanted to destroy my house. And it was very traumatic. And I cooked for them all and I took care of them. And to this day in this life, I still love to cook, but I cooked for them and I've calmed them down. And when they wanted to kill him, I said, no, you can't kill that disabled. He's my slave. He helps me. I just had to say something for these bad men to leave him alone, because I really cared for him and I took care of him. I really did. I took care of him as he was my own son. And so that life, it was very beautiful. And this disabled boy taught me in that lifetime how being alone is beautiful, but even the most disabled person will teach you something. So you have to be open. It was just a weird lesson that I pick up there. I hope I'm not triggering anyone of anything that I'm saying. This is just past life. I'm just literally saying this. And it's very hard also to share these things because I haven't shared them openly with anyone. And now I'm just sharing them literally with the world. And so what I've noticed that all of these have is someone that is alone and strong and that is connecting with everything and has many people around them, but they're also in their individuality. They're also alone in a sense of it being something positive, not something negative of being alone, but being something that is essential. And I've learned that lesson very well, to be able to be alone in this way. So what I want to say with this past life, if you remember something, just don't let the ego put a story, because the ego many times, as I was going through this and as I come back from it and I feel all of these emotions and I release them, the ego now all of a sudden wants to start to build. And the super ego wants to build those past lives and use it to the daily advantage. And I kept myself in prayer and I kept myself constantly with my higher self asking, is this for my highest greatest good? And the answer kept coming, no. And you need to be away from people, places, things that will claw this, even if it's your family member, whoever it is. You need to hear us and you need to hear us clearly when we say this to you. And so I've been very careful there of not letting the ego hijack the experience and create a new story to just then again continue it back to reincarnation and to the karma and to this keep you stuck in illusion, basically, with these past lives. So in conclusion, what I want to say with past lives is that it is seen as an opportunity for the soul to learn and to evolve. So each life presents challenges and lessons that contribute to spiritual development. If we don't remember any past life, that doesn't make it better or worse. The highest knows what will help the particular soul the best way. So trust that the Most High Love holds all knowledge, okay? And challenges and experiences, both positive and negative, are seen as lessons and contribute to the soul's ultimate realization of the true nature, which is divine and eternal, because that is what you are. So I hope this past lives video of a lovely observation of life and podcast has found you well, and that you are taking care of yourself. And try to sit in meditation and explore what is there for you. And thank you for being here as always. Have a wonderful day. Sending love your way. Bye, everyone.